Guys, welcome back to the channel. We're down here at Forest Greens. Jesus, that's a great golf course in England.
Look at the forest. Look at the forest, a big forest.
Guys, welcome down to Royal Greens. I'm down here at the Saudi International. I'm joined by this legend, Paul Casey. We're going to be going around 3 holes. He's going to be talking us through his game, his shots, yardages. I'm going to give you guys some very important tips. Paul, thank you very much for joining us. Paul's been on the channel a couple of times, kind of inadvertently.
I didn't know I had been on the channel.
Yeah, you have to go back and check
Secret
out
filming.
Go back and check out all the recent footage. It's basically Paul with a 1-iron, which he loves, and I'm sorry for not bringing it, but next year it'll be here.
Thank you.
Okay, right, we're going to play 3 holes. Stay tuned. This is going to be awesome.
160 front, pins on 20, 180, simple mathematics. But this plays about 2 yards uphill, so we are.
Into and off
We're
left.
182. The pin's on a ridge, so for me, yes, it's 182, but normally that's like a sort of a very soft 7 pin. Ball would probably release 2 or 3 yards on these greens, but you just don't want to get past it because past this it falls off sort of down a tier. So we're always playing to. I mean, rarely do we play straight at the flag and trying to hold it, believe it or not. Yeah. You're just playing percentages. You're playing the odds. So
keeping it short of the flag.
Back to the shot. 182. We're probably trying to land it ideally 178 or so, and then you've got to figure out what that is in this wind and this temperature. So awkward wind. I'd put this at about 11 or 12 yards of wind. So then we're back up into the high 80s.
And this is the worst possible wind as well, isn't it? For right.
It's an absolute shocker.
Straight off the back, ball below his feet.
So to add complications to that, because of the wind, that yardage, my 7-iron's a 190 club, so 188 would be a lovely yardage for a 7-iron.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't even try to take 2 yards off. I've just hit a normal 7-iron. But now we can have to try and do that with a 6-iron because of the wind. So that becomes basically a half shot. For me, I just shorten the swing and have full acceleration. So the length of the backswing is what's taking off the yardage.
Yeah, perfect. So you're not hitting the full 7-iron for distance, because obviously sort of spin up into the air, spin up into the wind.
So I feel like I kind of swing it up here. Yeah, it's like a half swing. Good acceleration, down the grip a little bit to keep the ball flight down and try and hit. Yeah, that 188 shot, but with a 6-iron.
How far does a 6-iron normally go?
205. Is that how far your 6-iron goes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit longer. We don't normally go straight at pins, but we will this time.
It probably looks good on your camera, but it's actually a very average shot.
It looks great on camera. Don't tell them.
You can kick that closer. Oh, here we are, 15 feet. It went over that golf ball, but on the green kind of thing. You can't see the front of the green.
Amazing how much the wind affects that towards the end, because as I started zooming in, I was like, that is literally all over it.
Yeah, started online, but I mean, I was reluctant to aim at the bunker, and I mean,
percentage golf though, isn't it? It's not the wind to be chasing flags.
People always make the error, don't they? If sometimes they'll go in this scenario with a strong left to right wind, you'll aim a long way left. Now the problem is if you then miss it left, if the wind doesn't bring it back enough, you then have a chip or a putt that's downwind, which is then very difficult to control. So although it feels like a big error that you've lost it on the wind, you've now got an easier shot because you're going back into the wind.
Correct.
So it's picking your battles. I thought I was on the green. Maybe I'm not.
Okay, so for green reading, are you an aim pointer? Do you go behind the flag? Do a bit of everything?
I do a bit of everything. I tend not to do a lot of aim point. I like it. I think aim point is very cool.
Yeah.
No, what am I? I'm an everything green reader.
Yeah.
So it's mainly eyes, I guess a little bit of feet.
Yep.
I find I read greens better from farther away.
Yep. Yeah.
So I even will read a green when I'm walking up to the green. I'm kind of getting a general perspective of it. If I get too close in here, I kind of get sucked into seeing nuances that I probably don't really need. So I'd rather just take a step back and take it all in. I'm a bit of a spot putter rather than picking a line, in this case 5 feet right or whatever it's going to be. I'll pick a blemish or a spot on the green, usually at like a turning point or a high point.
Kind of almost like you would do for a full shot. You pick out something just in front of the ball.
Like an intermediate. Yeah, I love an intermediate target.
Yeah.
I don't worry too much on on longer putts of this length, but on shorter putts, I always put the logo. So I use a Titleist Pro V.
Yep.
And I'll put the stamping, the arrows in line with my start line as much as I can. Hopefully you can hear that, 'cause it's really windy.
There was an interesting stat. They said that you don't put as well when you use the line from outside of, I think it was 25 feet.
Thank goodness I don't.
I couldn't believe that. As soon as I read the stat, I stopped doing it.
Well, putting's three things: starting the ball on line, the correct speed,
Yep.
sending it with the correct speed that you want, and reading the putt.
Yeah.
And when you've got putts of this length, so we are, say, 30, 40 feet, it's reading it, but the most important thing really is speed.
Yeah,
I mean,
always
if we get the line wrong by a little bit, it doesn't matter. And obviously, the nearer you get to the hole, then the most important thing is actually going to be more starting the ball on your intended line.
Yeah, absolutely. Number one and number two are the hardest things to do, and the most important. Okay, so how are we reading this? Where are we going?
Well, it's right to left, and it's really windy.
Slightly into the breeze.
Normally I'd go to the other side. I'd look at it from the low side. I'd look at it from all the way around. We're cheating a little bit.
Yeah.
But this is. I mean, I say I don't pick a spot up near the hole, but you can see it. There's an old hole up there, isn't there? That's
I see that.
5.5 feet right. I'm just guessing it's up there. This is all speed anyway.
Go on, do it. Go. That's the line. It's a good line.
Bad speed.
It's a good line.
Good line, bad speed.
That was an interesting.
Is that good?
When you're approaching the green, to start already looking for the break. Speeds things up, and it makes the perspective better.
It's the only thing. The guys are so good putting though. It's the only thing. Always get the thing, oh, you're not a very good putter. It's like, you have no idea how good even bad pros are good putters.
Oh, 100%.
And a good speed control. It's one of those things, like you see the difference, don't you, in like professional versus even like a touring pro versus a club pro, or a club pro versus an amateur.
You versus me,
and it's funny how, look, there's plenty of amateurs who can hit a good 6-iron or even a driver or even make a 10-foot straight putt, but sometimes it's like speed control under pressure is really, really impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even the bad pros are actually really good at it.
The one thing that annoys me the most is when amateurs say, oh, I'm a good player, I just need to practice more. It's like, no, like proper practice. Because it's the one part of the game that, well, I don't practice putting. I'm a golf pro, and I very rarely practice putting. It's so much more fun to smash a driver. But then that kind of goes into the amateur game as well, where their practice is just like smashing it across the other sides of the green. There's no gate.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of putting practice which actually gets really ugly.
Yeah.
And it's really frustrating. Yeah. I mean, I do gate work, and I'm not very good at gate work, and it's really frustrating banging it off the edges of the gates. Because if I don't do that, if I just get on a string line, or I like a chalk line personally, you can cheat. You're not really on it, but still make the putt.
Yeah, you can hold on to it.
But a gate doesn't lie when you're banging it off the edges of the gates. So good putting practice, actually, it's hard.
I got a lot of footage last week at the Desert Classic of the gates being hit quite often. I won't name any players, and they won't be making it on social media because I'm not that guy. But
but it's difficult. It's difficult. It's really difficult. Yeah. I tend to hit the left gate because I pull everything.
I'm the right gate.
Yeah, but at least you know the tendencies, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I aim too far right. It's funny, so I should have actually hit the right gate more, but I have a pull bias in my stroke.
Oh, do you? So do you allow for a pull bias?
No, I try to train it out.
Yeah, because even when you're on the course, if you're maybe under pressure coming down the stretch, do you
try and train it out?
Yeah,
I know, but at least I know what it is. So if I'm a whatever, I don't know what the number would be, but like almost probably just almost close to a degree, like a 10-foot putt, I'll go right edge with my alignment.
Right. Yeah.
with my putter. If you just
Yeah.
put me down, I put the putter down, I'll go right edge.
Yeah.
I'll swear that that's at the middle of the hole, but it's not. It's right edge. But I'll hit it in the middle, so I've got a slight pull bias. So that when I put the line down on the, for me again, the Titleist stamping, and I'll set it up square, and I'll look you in the eye and go, nah, it's left half that. So that's just the way the eyes work. I try to train it out though. I don't think it's good that I accommodate to it, but there's all ways of training it out.
Yeah.
It's head position and all these different angles, and
Yeah.
and ultimately, perceptual bias,
Yeah. Well, there'll always be that.
other things I haven't thought of.
Most important thing, as long as it goes in.
Right, I'm going to go whack another one.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul. All right, well, how far have we got in?
No idea.
Is this
No,
is this a feely one though? I know you didn't get a yard.
It's a practice round.
Is there a certain yardage? Is there a certain distance where you don't go and get a yardage? You just kind of go off the field.
Yeah, probably anything inside about 40 yards.
About 40, yeah.
No, today is, I mean, in all honesty, today is just
Get rid of the cobweb.
is basically just dust off some rust. Thanks.
So,
Not overthink it. That's what today is. All right, 8 feet, 10 feet for birdie, whatever it is.
oh yeah, give us a birdie.
This line is not over yet. No, you're free of
You just see how much it's on, like if you look at Bond.
Ah!
You've been in a practice round, it hurts, folks. Sorry, guys. He had one job.
Made 5 as well. Wasn't a bad putt, I didn't think. Did it look like I started online?
A lot of break, yeah. I thought, I mean, obviously in hindsight I can say this, but I definitely thought you started too far left.
Thanks very much. Yeah, genius. It's because I just watched Barn miss
That's why I'm
his
a
by a foot right.
That's why I'm a golf coach, folks.
Yeah.
I work in hindsight.